Good evening, guys, and happy Sunday. Mother's Day to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, I did not end up having a huge ton to record today because we actually ended up going over to my aunt's house for Mother's Day because we're finally able to like get back to doing some of those things, which was so weird to be around people and not having a mask on. Like, I don't know, it was just sort of bizarre. Like, it was actually, the weird part was actually getting into the car without like needing to wear my mask, or getting out of the car without having to put my mask on. Like, normally I put my mask on like once we get out of the car at like the grocery stores or whatever. So like, this is sort of weird. So like, yeah, finally we're able to start getting back together with family and everything like that, which is awesome. So we ended up, actually, we got up this morning, we did sort of like breakfast for my mom, but then we were going over to do brunch at 1 o'clock, which I don't think we actually ended up eating till maybe close to like 2 or something like that. And then we were there until maybe about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then ended up coming back. However, guys, I ended up at first I couldn't figure out what it was. My throat started to feel sort of like scratchy a little bit, and I felt congested. I felt like there was a pressure in my head, and I didn't realize this. They have 2 cats, I think, and I really think that I have like, I am allergic to cats, which, like, honestly, sometimes too, though, I've told you guys, I get these weird sort of like allergies also sometimes, and sometimes there's really like no rhyme or reason. It wasn't like, oh, I was around like a cat, or like we have 3 dogs, only one of them is in here right now, or like, you know, the furnace going and stuff like that, you know, from like the dust and stuff, or you know, like the season change and everything like that. Some days it's just sort of bad, other days it's really bad, some days I don't have anything at all. But I totally noticed it, because as soon as we got out to the car, I felt like 50% better probably than what I felt like when I was actually in their house. It really was only in sort of like their living room area, where I guess the cats do like to hang out more, and so that's when I all of a sudden, like I said, really noticed it. And my aunt was saying how one of their like one of my cousins, he has allergies to cats, and my uncle does too. So and they were like having sort of like a bad reaction to it, like sneezing and that kind of stuff, which I never got to like the sneezing point or anything like that. It just sort of felt like my throat felt real scratchy. So I ended up coming back home, ended up actually having some tea, and that helped, and probably was like 75% better, and my throat wasn't bothering me anymore, but I still sort of felt like a congested little thing, like, and then I had a headache too, which I don't entirely know if the headache was like related to that or not, but I ended up taking a just like a Tylenol then when I ended up coming home also, and I felt fine pretty much ever since, which is really nice. But yeah, I was just like super out of it when we got home. And on top of that too, guys, doing all of that yard work that I did yesterday, I worked out muscles that I didn't even know I was working out until I got up this morning. So my arm was sort of sore already yesterday, and I knew that, and so it's pretty sore today. I didn't realize I was working my abs out yesterday, and I went to go sit up to turn off my alarm clock, and I literally went, oh my gosh, like I was still half asleep, but I went to go like hit the snooze button on my alarm clock and didn't realize that I had, my abs were so sore today. I ended up saying that while I was like still half asleep, and it sort of woke me up even more, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to get up because we have to make breakfast for my mom. So because of the timing sort of with brunch too, it was sort of like a later, like, you know, it was like brunch, but like I didn't know also too, because I told you guys that I wasn't sure what we were going to wind up doing for Mother's Day, because originally we were supposed to go out to a buffet sort of place for brunch, and then we were going to do it at my aunt's house, but I felt like it was going to be later in the day, and so I kept thinking like, oh, we don't have to do anything for dinner then, so I didn't even bother thinking of like dinner for Mother's Day. So we actually just ended up doing chicken Kiev for dinner, and my mom actually ended up making brownies, because she's like, I really want some brownies brownies. And then she was actually just in the kitchen making them herself, and I was like, what are you doing? I was like, it's Mother's Day, let somebody else make those. So yeah, I ended up actually getting to laundry though, and like I said, made breakfast. We took care of all the dishes and all that kind of stuff, and then also dinner, which I didn't take care of the dishes from dinner, but that'll have to be tomorrow. I'll have to take care of that. But yeah, I am like very sore today. But those are really what we ended up doing sort of today for Mother's Day. We gave my mom her gifts, which I showed you guys. We got her that orchid and then also that candle, and then my dad ended up ordering a couple things off of Amazon as well. But like I was saying, we ended up also then getting together with like with family and stuff like that as well, which is sort of the first holiday that we've really been back. So yeah, it was pretty, like I said, nice to get back together with family, but also it was a little bit weird too, like I was saying, because the only time that we've been together really since the pandemic was for my uncle's funeral, and everybody was there in masks and stuff like that. So it was just very small little like I said, get together. And so like I said, we were finally able to, you know, be able to get all together. It was very fun. And all had actually very good food too, because I told you guys too, I'm like, I do not like to eat a lot of sweet stuff like for breakfast, even though this was more brunch, so for me it wasn't really that bad, but like I really like to have more like you know, like savory sort of foods. Like I cannot, on an empty stomach, it's hard for me to eat like really sweet foods. Like it just doesn't, like I feel sick after I eat. Like even if I'm like, oh, I'll have fruit or something like that or whatever, like if it's on an already empty stomach, like it just do not feel very good. So like if stuff is really sweet and sugary, and that's how a lot of breakfast foods are, except for like quiche, which was there, you know, or like some type of eggs and stuff like that, like scrambled eggs or French toast or whatever, but still like I can't eat eggs because eggs are way too hard on my stomach, and like I've not been able to eat them in years. I get like horribly sick from eggs, and so like I said, I don't eat those. I don't like anything sweet, but there was a ton of savory food, which was really awesome. And like I said too, there wasn't that much like that was not like not vegetarian either. Like there was like we ended up bringing sausage. I think somebody else had bacon, but that was sort of it. And 3 of the 4 quiches had meat in them. I think there was a separate one that didn't, for like me and my cousin, because we both don't eat meat. But like I said, I can't eat eggs. Like they're horrible for me. So yeah, but we also ended up doing sort of a breakfast for my mom as well. We ended up doing the biscuits and gravy, and then we also ended up doing the Matthew did omelets, and then we also just did like fruit, and there was a third thing too, bacon, because we got that bacon at Caputo's, and then we got eggs also at Caputo's, and a big pack of eggs, like an 18 count or whatever, at Jewel last week. So we ended up having some you know, a lot of that stuff we ended up getting on sale, so we were able to do some breakfast things this morning. But like I said, I totally spaced out and sort of forgot about dinner, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. And so my mom's like, well, should we just stop at Aldi and like grab some hamburgers to cook? Because I was like, everything that we have is frozen already. And it was like I said, probably got home around 4:30, or like we passed Aldi at like 4:30. We were thinking like, okay, for dinner at like 4 or 5 o'clock, or 5 or 6 o'clock possibly, you know, like what are we gonna do? And I was like, we're not gonna have anything defrosted in like, you know, less than an hour or two to like get it out on the grill. Like we have hamburgers and pork chops, but they're not defrosted. So like I said, I just totally spaced out on it. My mom's like, well, we could go pick up like hamburgers at Aldi and then just do those for dinner. And then we were like, or you know, we were thinking about maybe getting Chinese food, and then we ended up coming home. We were like, oh, we have chicken Kiev, we'll just do chicken Kiev. Like my mom sort of wanted it, so we were like, okay, we'll do that. I was like, we're lucky that we had something in there my mom wanted, because like I said, totally didn't even bother thinking about it. Like in the past we've done like steak and stuff like that for dinner for Mother's Day. But like I said, I don't know why it sort of didn't cross my mind. A family big sort of like potluck, sort of like everybody sort of brought their own thing. And you know, like I said, and there was a lot of food there, so it didn't cross my mind either, because I was thinking like, oh, we're gonna be eating later and whatever. Or just like one of those things where I was like, oh yeah, we actually will probably have dinner. But like my dad wasn't even hungry almost at all for dinner, because he ate so much at the party. So and like Matthew and Jack weren't really that hungry, but probably like we're like, oh yeah, we'll probably eat just so we're not like starving when we wake up in the morning. So anyways, yeah, that was, like I said, our Mother's Day we ended up doing. And then just sort of like the afternoon just hung around, watched TV with my mom, sort of what she wanted to do. Because we were all sort of just like exhausted. A lot of us were tired though, because like Matthew ended up coming back from Florida yesterday, like late at night, like 12 o'clock or maybe 1 or something like that. Ended up, like I said, getting home late and was just exhausted because they spent like 14 hours or more or something like that driving from Florida back here. And so I think it was like 14 to 16 or something like that hours to get here. And so he was just like exhausted like from yesterday, and then didn't get that much sleep because we got up early. And then I ended up, like I said, was working in the garden doing all of that stuff yesterday, and was so sore, and I went to bed late last night because I was up until Matthew got home last night. I also ended up waking up early, and then Jack also ended up sort of, I think, having like some allergies to possibly the cats or something like that, and his throat was bothering him, so my mom gave him a Benadryl, and so he was like exhausted and pretty much ended up falling asleep, and took a several hour nap before he finally came down for dinner. And so yeah, my mom offered me one too, and I was like, I think I can get by with probably just tea and like a Tylenol and we'll be fine. And I actually felt completely fine after I took the Tylenol. And then also, like I said, I had some tea, which I cannot stand tea. I don't like how it tastes, but I was just like, I will power through it and drink this. I did end up having that and felt, like I said, much better. But also too, my mom was super tired as well because she ended up staying up sort of late, and woke up early in the morning too. And so all of us were just sort of like beat. So we didn't want to really do anything else other than sort of lay around. Matthew and Jack both ended up taking naps. I never did, but it is not too late, and I'm going to take a shower and get to bed right now because, like I said, I'm tired. So I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.